Hey, you know what? I'll take it. I'll take it. I said last night that if the Vancouver Canucks lost against the Columbus Blue Jackets on the morning of Monday, January 15th, 2024, it wouldn't be the most surprising thing in the world, considering the crazy travel they had to go through yesterday, considering the airport dinner at Panda Express, and everything in between. This team had so much extra crap to go through because of the weather over there in the northeastern United States area. And so to see everything compact itself into the schedule that was and result in a 10 a.m. PST start or 1 p.m. EST start in Columbus the very next afternoon, this was going to be the craziest way possible to end off the road trip, and in some ways, the most difficult game. Not because Columbus is the best team out of the Rangers, the Devils, the Islanders, the Penguins, the Sabres, or the St. Louis Blues, but because of the circumstances surrounding the Canucks and their path to get there. So I was already watching this game with an aura of calm. Okay, if they get points, that's cool. If they get the win, that's cool. But if they don't, that's all right too. And at the end of the day, that tranquility is what I feel was able to get me through today's game, especially since the Canucks actually got themselves off to a pretty good start. They get themselves the 3-3 tie to go into overtime and eventually lose in the shootout 4-3. I'll admit, though, just from the way that they played in regulation, this team, you can definitely tell they were a little bit, I don't know if rusty is the right word. They kind of played a little bit sluggish. There were a few sloppy mistakes in their own end. Casey DeSmith was the starter here. He had to make a whole bunch of fantastic stops, and not even like saves that were like, oh, that's a highlight reel save. It's a breakaway and he extends the glove hand and grabs it out of midair. Not stuff like that, but like super messy, big scrambles out in front. The puck bounces into an open space on the blue ice in the crease, and DeSmith is there to kind of just swat it away, and the Blue Jackets are not able to capitalize. Like, honestly, if you take the chances that Columbus had in this game and you put any other team behind the puck in that situation, you probably see a lot more goals scored today. Casey DeSmith was pretty much forced to be the last man back in the most literal way possible between the puck and the goal line because of all the chances, the pucks that were thrown into the middle of the ice and just kind of bobbled around in open space. The Canucks were not their best tonight, or today, I guess you could say instead, and that was very expected. So look, Casey DeSmith was great tonight, probably the only reason the Canucks even got themselves a point, even though they did score 3 goals in the process, because everything else about Vancouver in this game, I mean, from the penalties to some of the sloppiness, this was a team that had Panda Express for dinner last night, and you could probably tell, based off of how they were playing, you know, they're tired, it's the 7th game on a road trip, lots of travels, so this result's fine. Totally fine. But the game itself gets underway with an early goal scored by none other than JT Miller, who puts things on the board quickly. He gets the slap shot from the point, and it bounces off of like 3 Blue Jackets on its way to the net. It goes in, it's 1-0, assisted by Zadorov and Pettersson. Miller now has 20 goals on the season, and we're halfway through, so I don't know, 40 goals? Is that a possibility? First 40-goal scorer on this team since Kessler and Daniel Sedin, who really knows? But Miller gets things started 1-0. It doesn't take long, though, for the Columbus Blue Jackets to fight back. And this is one of those plays that I was talking about, where sloppy mistakes by Vancouver, a turnover in their own end, results in a giveaway out to the side. Johnny Gaudreau is down low. He throws it out for Chinakhov, who walks right in around Casey DeSmith and puts the puck in to make it 1-1. This was like 30 seconds after the Miller goal, and it was a really bad one considering the fact that the Canucks literally had possession of the puck behind their own end with the goalie's help, like 10 seconds before the goal went in. It's just not a great play from a Canucks breakout point of view. But again, sloppiness, it's not unexpected in this circumstance, so I'm okay with it. Give it about 10 minutes after that, and the Canucks get themselves back up to the lead. It's another brilliant play here by the third line. Teddy Blueger dumps the puck into the corner. It's touched up by Dakota Joshua. Blueger goes down low, fights for the puck, digs it free, and then centers it onto the stick of Conor Garland, who one-times it right by Elvis Merzlikins. It's 2-1 Vancouver. Fantastic goal there. Just a great overall chemistry between these three guys. And those are all the goals that are scored in the first. There were 2 power plays as well. Jack Roslovic went off for tripping. Canucks didn't get one to go, and then Ian Cole went off for hooking Johnny Gaudreau. But no goals on those. Second period gets underway. This is where the Blue Jackets get a little bit interesting because on the power play, there's another power play opportunity this time for the Columbus Blue Jackets. It's Adam Boquist who takes the long shot, and it gets tipped in front by Dmitry Voronkov. He's a big dude. He's right there in front, crashing the crease, and he's able to lift his foot up. The puck goes off of him somehow, and it's a tie game, 2-2. There were quite a few power plays, actually, for the Columbus Blue Jackets. This one, it's JT Miller off for high-sticking Yegor Chinakhov, and Miller didn't even contest the power play. Like, he skated straight to the box. He knew that he did something wrong. So definitely not the best penalty to take. There's probably a bit more discipline that you need there, but the Blue Jackets capitalize. The Canucks then get themselves a few power plays of their own, and this is where Elias Pettersson strikes. Hughes goes over to Miller, who goes across to Petey, who, instead of taking the one-timer, holds onto it a little bit and then shoots it right by. Low glove on Elvis Merzlikins. He takes his time, he takes the shot. The Canucks have the lead 3-2 with about 12 minutes to go in the second period. This is Pettersson's 23rd goal of the season, assisted by Miller with his 40th and Hughes with his 41st. And that is the final Vancouver Canucks goal that is scored. Now, I will give it to the Canucks. They did kill off a few penalties afterwards. There was a mini 5-on-3 segment that they had to kill off because both Zadorov and Myers ended up taking penalties. But once those calmed down, the Canucks were able to get by in the third with no problems. And still, even though they were able to kill them off, Casey DeSmith had his work cut out for him because he still had to make some pretty good saves and keep the Canucks in it with his positional awareness and active stick. The Blue Jackets had way too many close calls, I feel, and none other than the goal that actually tied the game up in the third period was the epitome of that. You had yourselves Dmitry Voronkov in the third just kind of take the puck behind the Canucks goal. It was a back and forth moment, so Casey DeSmith was a little bit lost there. And then Voronkov comes out on the far side post and then just puts the puck on goal 5-hole on Casey DeSmith, and it goes in. Like, it's such a cheeky, subtle little play, but it ends up working, and it ties the game up 3-3 at the halfway mark in the third period. This is all she wrote in terms of goals scored in the game, as the rest of the third is just trading chances back and forth. The Canucks, I'll say, they didn't really have like the best opportunities in the third period, but the Blue Jackets, on the other hand, still were just putting pucks on goal. They're finding ways to make Casey DeSmith work for the save. And then in the overtime period, it was more of the same. Columbus had a few extra chances, I feel, in that OT. But the Canucks, I mean, they were tired. They were sloppy still. A few passes went out of the reach of their guys, and a few close calls to icing were there too. The Blue Jackets took a too many men penalty in overtime, and the Canucks, with the 4-on-3 opportunity to win the game, end up taking a penalty of their own. It's Elias Pettersson for tripping. And then we have ourselves the 3-on-3, 4-on-4 becomes 4-on-4, and then we go to a shootout. Just not the best execution game for Vancouver, but still, they got it to an overtime and a shootout, so I guess you can't really complain too much. Johnny Gaudreau was stopped by Casey DeSmith. Andrei Kuzmenko was saved by Elvis Merzlikins. Chinakhov got stopped up by DeSmith. Miller got saved. Kent Johnson got saved. And then Elias Pettersson got saved too. So the first 6 shooters, 3 for each team, all got stopped. 5-hole saves there by the goaltenders, and Casey DeSmith, I feel, had the better saves of the two in the first 6 shooters. But then Kirill Marchenko comes in and does such a cheeky move. He does the one-hand backhand 5-hole. Like, it doesn't even sound real when you say it like that, but he dekes it quickly to the backhand and uses the momentum of his deke to propel the puck quickly as he one-hand backhands it right through the 5-hole, uses the momentum of the puck, and gets it through to go. That's the only goal of the shootout, as Pia Sutar, the next shooter, is stopped by Merzlikins, who greets everybody afterwards with a big celebration. The Canucks lose this game 4-3 in a shootout, but it's okay considering their travel. This was one of the better results you could have asked for, and of course, leave it to me to bench Quinn Hughes in fantasy today, only to have him actually put up one of the best games that he's had in a while. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the Canucks and the Blue Blue Jackets how I feel the Canucks actually kind of proved me wrong. Sort of. But still, they got the loss, which was kind of expected, but in the way they did so, it's a lot better than we could have expected. But either way, I hope you enjoyed this Vishara 99, and bye.